How's it going, everyone? It's David here, and welcome back to another episode of Hemlock Hills, a traditional amusement park I am building in Planet Coaster 2. In the last episode, spent some time creating an old mill style dark ride, complete with custom boats, scenery, and a working water wheel to make the ride function. But without further ado, let's continue expanding Hemlock Hills. And seeing that I have a little bit of room on the other side of the old mill and in between my Calamity Arrow looping coaster, I decided to add in a flat ride. And I think a good classic flat ride to go with a good old classic amusement park is a Caterpillar. And I'm happy that they brought this ride back from Planet Coaster 1. Now, a real-world inspiration for me is the old Caterpillar that used to operate at Idlewild. I used to love riding this ride growing up as a kid, and I do miss it dearly. But I am going to have the same ride model here in Hemlock Hills. I'm going to give it some neutral colors and of course make the overhead tarp green, and it's really fun riding these rides as you're spinning around, getting some laterals, and then halfway through the ride you're doing it all in the dark under the canopy. And to keep it consistent with the other rides in the park, I am surrounding the ride with this white picket fencing, also inspired by Idlewild. Now, since this ride is pushed back a little bit from the midway, decided to give it a more prominent and fun-looking sign here on the main path, right next to the entrance. As I am wrapping around here on the east side of the park, we are coming around toward where we started, where we had the Ferris wheel and the switchback railway leading up to that man-made lake. So it's coming along and we're getting almost there. And having this narrow strip right here as the main pathway turns, I'd figure let's have a nice long food stand. And I am basing this off of the refreshment stand that you can find at my home park, Kennywood. Now, I had to get the angles just right, and while it's not perfect in my eyes, I still think it looks good from a distance. Oh, and I cannot forget to add some seating areas on either side of the building. And I hope that this refreshment stand will be popular with guests as it is on the corner of the main path. I realized I did not have a restroom on this side of the park, so I decided to build a small red brick building that housed a small restroom, staff building, and a power generator. After all, I am making this park somewhat functional with running water and electricity. Okay, now it's time for the main part of the video, and I figure having here at the far end of this pathway here on the east side of the park, I would like to have a Kiddieland. Now, unfortunately, Planet Coaster 2 does not have designated kiddie rides, with the exception of one. They do have a junior Ferris wheel. But part of this Kiddieland, I want to have a kiddie coaster. Now, originally, I was just going to have a generic Dragon Wagon, roller skater family coaster, but then based off of the last video, how I was able to make custom boats for the old mill, I'd figure let's try to make custom vehicles for a kiddie coaster. And a kiddie coaster I grew up with riding all the time was an Allan Herschell Little Dipper, particularly the one located at the now defunct Conneaut Lake Park. Now, these were very popular starting around the 1950s onward, and these rides definitely do add a historic charm to it as well. They may not be the smoothest, they may be a little janky, but they are a lot of fun, at least from what I could remember being a kid. Now, it may be easy to just use the junior coaster design in Planet Coaster, but I actually elected to use the multi-dimension coaster, mainly because it is very versatile. Guests of all ages could ride it, and it has 2 rows per vehicle, and you could also make the track pretty tight on this as well, so making it quite versatile. So even though I'm not using any special track pieces or special effects, I think this coaster design will be just fine. Using the basic shapes, I wanted to create a frame and custom looking vehicle for the coaster cars, and these are very boxy looking. So it wasn't too hard to make, although the front is at a bit of an angle. And on the front, I added some grill work and a little AH initial. After all, that was on regular Little Dippers. And since you load and unload on the same side, the one side is going to be solid while the other side does have a bit more of an opening for riders to get in and out of the vehicles. But from a distance, and the colors that I chose, I think this looks really fantastic. And from there, I just made a simple oval layout following the traditional Allan Herschell Little Dipper design. Not super high off the ground, it's under 20 feet tall, which is about accurate, and having very mild dips going around. Once I had the coaster design done, I rotated it so I can get the most space efficiency to help build this Kiddieland. Now, common at kiddie parks and in Kiddielands, including for these Allan Herschell Little Dippers, there were often kiddie rides inside of the coaster. And while the basic flat ride designs and blueprints on Planet Coaster are a bit on the larger side, I am using the one kiddie-sized ride in the park, which is a kiddie Ferris wheel, and it happens to just fit inside the infield. In order to access this, guests will have to walk under the lift hill of the Little Dipper. Now, to designate Kiddieland, I decided to have a more colorful cobblestone pathway. And like the rest of the park, the rides will have picket fences around it, only these ones will be more colorful versus the all-white ones I have around the rest of the park. Okay, the next ride I'm going to add is a carousel. Now, they do not have a junior carousel, and they don't even have the smaller double-decker carousel from Planet Coaster 1. So for now, I'm just going to use yet another grand carousel. Only this time, I'm not going to be building a pavilion around it. It is going to be exposed, and I'm going to give it fun, vibrant colors, and it's going to be located right here next to the Little Dipper, and it will be the first ride that guests will encounter when they enter Kiddieland. My fourth and final ride I'll be adding in Kiddieland is a Helter Skelter spiral slide. And these were actually quite common in kiddie areas back in the day. Actually, a current example is the spiral slide that could be found at Knoebels. Now, to add a little bit of a buffer, wanted to give a entrance structure for Kiddieland as well as some planters. Now, an inspiration I used is the entrance to Kiddieland at Kennywood, but instead of toy soldiers, I will be using the in-game characters, which are King Coaster and Queen Splash. I'm also adding a planter that runs along the pathway with a hidden fence underneath so that guests may not walk through the planter. And again, this is going to help separate from the main park to the Kiddieland. It's now time to add some final touches. I'm adding a chain link fence around the Little Dipper so that guests may not climb into the restricted area. I also am adding more of those picket fences around the flat rides. Around the park, I'm adding wooden benches and wooden trash cans that look different from the rest of the park. And a final touch here in the corner, I'm going to have a little bit of a marionette band organ. And it looks very nice, and I really like the music that plays in this area. Also, as a happy accident right next to it, guests will be able to have a really good view of Calamity looking through the double corkscrew. And that's going to do it here from this episode of Hemlock Hills. What are your thoughts on my Kiddieland and Little Dipper roller coaster? Leave your thoughts down in the comments. I am also still open to ideas and suggestions to help expand and improve this project that I began. And I'm having a lot of fun doing this. And for those of you who have been watching week after week, really appreciate it. It's been a lot of fun. So if you enjoyed this video, make sure you like it and subscribe for more gaming and amusement park content. And with that being said, thank you all for riding, and I'll see you next time.